The whole idea is to support businesses who either are new in business or just don't have a website, or maybe they're using one of those awful Facebook sites as their website and trying to put their menu on Facebook, and you're trying to or right. That's what I was like. It's 2 a.m. I want to know what kind of tacos that the taco place down the street has. And you're looking at pictures of like Yelp menus and things like that. And I'm like, this has got to change. So that's kind of how it came to be.
This is the Chamber Chat Podcast, the show dedicated to chamber professionals to spark ideas and to get actionable tips and strategies to better serve your members and community.
Hello, Chamber Champions. Welcome to Chamber Chat Podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Burton, and here on the podcast, I introduce you to people and ideas to better help you serve your chamber members and your community. Our guest for this episode is Josh Cross, with more than 20 years of experience spanning city planning, economic development, and chamber leadership. Josh is a driving force behind business and community advancement in San Luis Obispo County. A lifelong resident of the region, he brings both professional expertise and a deep understanding of the local landscape. Josh began his career in urban design and planning, spending nearly 18 years with RRM Design Group. During that time, he led and contributed to a wide range of projects, including general plans, community and specific master plans, trail systems, design guidelines, entitlement processing efforts throughout California. He later transitioned to the Paso Robles Chamber of Commerce as Director of Economic Development, where he advanced initiatives focused on business retention, expansion, and attraction. In 2020, Josh became the CEO of the Atascadero Chamber of Commerce. Under his leadership, the organization has doubled its membership and grown its annual budget from approximately $460,000 to over $1.1 million, while expanding staff and services. Initiatives, including the launch of Get Your Business Online, expansion of workforce development services, and growth of the Bridgework co-working space as a regional entrepreneurial hub. His leadership earned him the WACE Rusty Hammer Award. Josh remains actively engaged in the region and industry leadership, serving on the SLO County Workforce Development Board and the Central Coast Zoo Foundation and the WACE Board and Executive Committee, where he helps to shape the future of the chamber profession. Well, let's welcome Josh Cross to Chamber Chat Podcast. Josh, I'm excited to have you on the show with us today, and we'd love to give you an opportunity to say hello to all the chamber champions who are out there listening and to share something interesting about yourself so we can all get to know you a little better.
Hi, Brandon. Hello, Chamber Champions. First off, Brandon, what an honor to be asked to be on your podcast. I'm just really thrilled to, shine a light on the work that we do here in Atascadero and just shine a light on Atascadero in general. We're a small community of 30,000 people, but I like to say that we have a freakishly large chamber for a community of our size with almost 700 members. And that keeps us pretty busy. But in terms of, something that you asked about, something interesting about. Yeah, and I think it's interesting to note that I'm local, born and raised in Atascadero. I am an Eagle Scout. I got
Awesome.
project here, did my project
I
here.
am as well. So we're sitting in the
Nice.
Eagle's Nest together. That's awesome.
Love that. It's fun. It's fun to drive by my Eagle Scout project here in town and see it's still standing. I did like a drinking fountain like 35 years ago. It was so long ago.
And it's still working. That's great. I love that. Well, tell us a little bit more about the Atascadero Chamber. Just to give us an idea. You mentioned about 700 members, mentioned the budget in your bio, but give us an idea of the size, staff, scope of work you guys are involved with, just to kind of set the stage for our discussion.
Yeah, well, interesting tip about Atascadero, it means mud hole. So we're trying to, overcome just the namesake. But what I think the original founders were trying to say is that the community was found on water. So even though many regions in California, especially around us, have water challenges, we seem to have our own independent water supply. So, we call it more of a land of murky water, not so much a mud hole. But Atascadero is actually a really beautiful location. If you haven't heard of it, it's located exactly halfway between San Francisco and Los Angeles on the coast of California. And we're just one community south uh, wine territory. So we've got 300 wineries in our backyard, which keeps us very busy, and um, uh, we get to enjoy lots of amazing wines that way.
Very cool.
Our chamber is, uh, about 700 members. Have a staff of about 10. That includes full-time, some part-time, and some contract staff. And let's see, we have a board of 17. And let's see, our office is located right in downtown Atascadero, and we also operate a co-working space, which we call Bridgeworks, and that seats about 20 small businesses within our footprint here.
Very cool. I grew up in Sacramento, so I'm kind of familiar with the area, and you guys are sitting in a great spot there, especially close to the coast.
Yeah, right. I didn't mention that. It's about 20 minutes to the closest beach, so not too far.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I'm excited for our conversation today. We're going to move fast as we cover a lot of ground, but all related to workforce development on multiple different levels. So we're going to dive into that as soon as we get back from this quick break.
Hi, I'm Joe.
And I'm Rose.
And we're the founders of At My Community, a mobile app that can be customized to meet the unique needs of your Chamber of Commerce.
When we started At My Community, we envisioned a tool that would help communities thrive by simplifying communication and enhancing engagement. Chambers of Commerce face unique challenges, and we're here to help you tackle them.
At My Community helps the Evergreen Area Chamber of Commerce to create an app that keeps tourists informed even when their office is closed. They provide 24/7 access to local business information, which helps support the local economy and community engagement.
In Rocky Mountain House, we helped the Rocky Chamber create an app with dynamic itineraries and digital resources for tourists, increasing local business engagement. The app has become an essential tool for the community, promoting events and boosting visibility for local merchants.
Today, we empower more than 200 chambers of commerce, campgrounds, and RV resorts to streamline communication, informing members about events, sharing business updates, and providing a digital hub for the community, all in one convenient app.
When you partner with At My Community, our team works closely with you to create an app that meets your chamber's unique needs. As your community grows, our app evolves with you. We are here to ensure you engage effectively with your members and streamline your operations.
Schedule a demo today at atmycommunity.com.
We can't wait to meet you.
Are you ready to take your organization's funding to the next level? Hi, I'm Clint Neesmith, CEO of Resource Development Group. As a Chamber of Commerce or Economic Development Organization leader, I know you understand the value of working with experts who understand your world. And that's exactly what RDG does best. For over 30 years, RDG has specialized in fundraising for EDOs and chambers. We bring cutting-edge strategies tailored to your organization, whether you're just starting out or gearing up for yet another new funding cycle. Importantly, our firm executives are hands-on from start to finish, from the feasibility study to the successful conclusion of your fundraising campaign, and our team brings deep industry roots and national expertise to every engagement. No matter the size of your community, RDG delivers data-driven, innovative revenue solutions, reinforcing ROI to investors and making sure your vision becomes reality. At RDG, we proudly build organizations that build communities. Visit us today at rdgfundraising.com and let us partner with you, building a stronger future for your organization and the community you are working to grow and develop.
All right, Josh, we're back. So as I mentioned before the break, today we're going to cover several points about how you guys are approaching and attacking workforce development there at the Atascadero Chamber. First of all, I know you guys have some interesting workforce development partnerships. You want to start there and tell us about those and how those partnerships came to be and what they mean for you?
Yeah, happy to. Kind of looking at workforce, the bigger umbrella being economic development, and that is certainly a passion of mine, having come from a background in doing that work for a few years. But really kind of seeing the need of, or the place for a chamber to support the business community through workforce development. And especially a few years ago, we polled our membership and asked them, where could they use help? And it was a lot of folks saying we need help hiring and retaining qualified staff members. So we reached out to our workforce development board, and I got involved with them, and eventually we got a contract with them whereby we are retained to offer VOA services with WEX and OJT type partnerships between another entity and the employer. And so our employers are able to have either free or low cost assistance for up to a certain amount of time. And so it's a great way for the employer to, again, get free or low cost help, but also for the employee to get some really valuable on the job training, OJT, or WEX workforce experience. And the partnerships that we have created between these employers and these employees are just really special. And it's great that the chamber can just be in the middle of that, helping connect the dots between employees and employers. And one of the programs that we're really proud of here at the chamber, we have 2 staff supporting us doing this work. They divide their time among the two ends of our county. We have a North County staff and a South County staff. And between them, they're out in the field every day, talking to different business owners, talking about the resources available through them to them through workforce development, especially these OJT and WEX programs, and connect with hundreds of businesses every year and connect them. It's just a great work for change to get involved in.
That's awesome. I love that you guys have formalized some of those partnerships and made that, like you said, putting the chamber in the middle to help connect those dots and keep those connections strong.
Yeah,
It's right where a chamber belongs. So you guys have found your spot for sure.
and it does. And it's, one of those things that, we can offer something to a member or especially a non-member that really helps them understand the work that a Chamber of Commerce does. They often wonder, what do we do? And then
Right.
we can say, we're here, we're the chamber, we're here to help. We actually have something to help them with, and we can pair them with an employee right away. I'm not much of a salesman myself. I have really good people on my team that do sales. Early on, I knew that I wanted to create programs that I could, tell non-members about that would make them just want to be a part of our chamber, just because of the amazing resources that we're offering.
Yeah. If you can attract them, you don't have to sell them. You just attract them and help them come.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. If the value is clear, then the choice to join our chamber is very easy.
Okay. So one of the, I guess I'm going to call it a program that you guys did to focus around workforce development was Get Your Business Online. Can you
Yeah.
tell us about that and where the idea came from and how you guys approached that? I mean, I assume that the title says what it is, but tell us more about it and how it all works.
Well, I got to give kudos to Glenn Morris and the Santa Maria Chamber. They had an individual that was on staff that kind of did this work part time. That you could call him up and he might help get your business online. We took that concept and we pursued grant funding from our county and a few other sources to formalize a more targeted program. And so we were able to retain a staff member to get your business online. And the whole idea is to support businesses who either are new in business or just don't have a website, or maybe they're using one of those awful Facebook sites as their website and trying to put their menu on Facebook, and you're trying to customer, right? That's what I was like. It's 2 a.m. I want to know what kind of tacos that the taco place down the street has. And you're looking at pictures of like Yelp menus and things like that. And I'm like, this has got to change. So that's kind of how it came to be. And, over the course of 2 years, we've helped 180 businesses get their business online. And there's some real measurable outputs from that, meaning that some of them are, their sales are increasing by $3,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, or even more in a couple cases. So in terms of like the return on the investment from our county grants, the county is super happy because, those are tax dollars then coming back to them. And then, so it's worked out really well. But in addition to just getting your business online, what we're doing is digital literacy training. So folks then know how to go back into their website and log in and change the price on a menu item, or change the hours of operation, or add another page. So it's some training and the site, and together, that is just a win-win for our small businesses.
Yeah. So are there certain industries, you mentioned the taco shop, right? You mentioned some restaurants, but are there certain industries that are maybe a little more prone to having that need to get online? And then how did you guys approach them to get them online?
Well, a lot of it came by word of mouth. So I would say that we didn't really target a specific industry, but the industries that step forward are restaurant, retail, contractors. These are people that are very, busy just doing the basics of starting their business or keeping the business going on a day-to-day basis. And for whatever reason, they're just too wiped out at the end of the day, or it's not their expertise, or they don't know how to use any of the web domains or the hosting platforms. This is where we can come in and support them. And so, we do some targeted outreach. We market the program, we let people know it's available to them, but word of mouth is how we've gotten most of them. And they tell their friends, and then their friends want to start a small business. Or, we go on Facebook and we look for those businesses that just have those Facebook websites, and we reach out to them. So it's a bunch of different ways we've gotten the numbers that we did.
Yeah. So when you talk about getting them online, what all does that entail besides taking them off of Facebook
Great
as their
question.
primary place to point them to?
Yeah, so we start them at the beginning. We help them go to GoDaddy, and we help them get a domain and make sure that they understand what that means and how to get it, and record your password so that when it renews in 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, that they know how to go back in and renew it. Then we get them connected with a web hosting platform, and a lot of folks like to use Wix because it's free and it's typically easier to use. It's probably the easiest from what we found. But then, there's more complex sites who are using WordPress, or, we give them a few other options. And then, we kind of show them how to get in on the back end, and how, what to do if they need to make a change, or, change a color, whatever they need to do, add photos, for example. And it's it's meant to be a living site. So we commit up to 8 hours per business to get them launched. That means we do 8 hours of design work per business. So that means getting it drafted, meeting with them, and doing refinements. And so we do have some parameters to kind of just protect our staff time about how much we can invest in it. But the 8 hours seems to be plenty, especially nowadays with all the AI
Yeah.
capabilities of getting copy and imagery and all of that. So it works out well.
Yeah. I had an experience even just as recent as last week where I I ended up having a surgery, actually a back surgery. But when I was meeting with the surgeon, my father-in-law was trying to do some help in the background, like trying to do research and everything. So he's looking up the surgeon, and on the surgeon's website, he had a lot of good, patient reviews, but the most recent review was from like 2020. So for my father-in-law, that was kind of a caution flag of, what's going on? Is he and like, he's a surgeon. He's not a web developer. So I'd met with him, and he was a good surgeon. Everything was great, but it goes to the point of getting your business online. Once you have the website, you should be keeping it up to date, because who knows what kind of business has been lost on websites like that, where it is dated, or it brings up questions about how come there's not more recent activity on this website, because it should be a living site that keeps things up to date about your business.
Yeah. And
Anything else about, I'm sorry, go ahead.
you had surgery last week, and here you are again.
Right.
How's that?
Back at it. Yeah. Yeah. Anything else about getting your business online that we need to know about before we move on to the next
Our chamber did receive a WACE award for being one of the top programs, and I believe in 2023. And so we're very proud of this program. It is, if it's something that other chambers are interested, it is a program that is ripe for grant funding, especially if you have, economic development initiatives as part of your strategic plan or your vision. Adding a program like this allowed us just to bring on additional staff member to support it full time. And it is, like I said, it's ripe for funding. It's a great opportunity for chambers to support their business community, especially the smallest businesses that need this assistance the most.
And with these businesses can see that direct return too on that investment. It's a powerful thing.
Yeah,
And one of
now
those
we
things
have
that really moves the needle.
100%, and now we have 180, chamber members that will be with us probably for life because they just love this program. They're so grateful.
That's awesome. So the next point around workforce development is you guys have had a focus on creating family-friendly workspaces. So can you tell us about that and the approach and kind of the genesis and what's gone into that?
Yes, this is a really wonderful program. Again, it's another grant funded program that we found that there's a real need in our region, more so than just Atascadero, to elevate what it means to be a family friendly workplace and to put some parameters around what that means. And so this is a program that basically is a certificate program, and we reach out to various businesses and give them different tiers to apply for. It's bronze, silver, gold, diamond, platinum, and then we even have like blue diamond and a few other ones. So basically to get businesses to think about ways to make their business more family friendly. And what that can look like is, you could have your absolute like highest tier is providing on-site childcare for your employees. And so we only have like 2 or 3 in our region that can do that. So those are far and few in between. But at a minimum, what businesses can do is have predictive scheduling. So that, the week before, the employees know what their days they need to work the following week so that they can schedule childcare and pickups and drop-offs and doctor's appointments. Do you allow your employees to attend the flexibility to attend parent-teacher conferences and leave a little early for a sports game and go to those doctor's appointments? So allowing flexibility to be able to do that. Not everyone can do that. Restaurants, that'd be really hard to allow their wait staff to leave early to go do that kind of thing. But there's different things that every business can do. Restaurants, predictive scheduling, more office environments, they can allow flexibility for their employees to spend time with their families. But there's also things like, do you offer like lactation? Do you offer healthy snacks to your employees, which our chamber does not qualify for because we have, in our co-working space, we have, a snack wall, and that's where I've drawn the line. Just sticking to the snacks you can get at Costco, but the no healthy fruits or vegetables. But anyways, there's just a whole different checklist of things that you can do. It's available on our webpage, atascaderochamber.org, and you can go in there and start applying for it as a business to see which tier that you get. You get some recognition, you get a certificate, you get to, put on your website that you are a family-friendly workplace. You're recognized as one. And, it's a badge of honor our employers have really leaned into as actually it's turned out to be a kind of a recruitment tool for our businesses. They, we're a gold level, family friendly workplace, and this is what that means. So it helps with retention and attraction for employees.
So does the chamber provide the branding for them to put on their website or things like that to
Just a
announce that
little,
they're the family
yeah,
friendly workplace?
just a little badge that they can put on their website so they can show that off.
Yeah. And I love how you say, every business has something that they can do to show that they're striving towards, just accommodating a family lifestyle. And it looks different in every business, but there's something that everybody can do to make it work.
And what we see is our businesses, like, they might start at a gold or a silver tier, and then the next year they might add a thing or change a policy or add a policy. So we actually see businesses moving from tier to tier to tier, and we kind of coach them along the way about how to do that. So we see growth in this area and we see improvement, and that tells me that the program is working.
Yeah, that's great. I love that idea, and I love that it promotes that healthy family lifestyle. So great job. So you mentioned a couple of times this co-working space, and I'm always intrigued when chambers get involved with co-working spaces because everyone seems to have a slightly different approach to how they do it. So I'd love to know how you guys have approached it and what the setup is like for your co-working space.
Yeah, the space was opened in 2018 as a way to, grow small business in Atascadero. Atascadero is a bedroom community to the city of San Luis Obispo and somewhat to the city of Paso Robles. So we are seeing too many of our residents leaving the community every day versus working. We also know that this is a very popular area for Bay Area folks to work remotely. Silicon Valley is about a 2-hour drive. And so there's lots of folks here that work here and then, maybe commute to Silicon Valley once a week, once a month, something. So we saw some opportunity to capitalize on the Silicon Valley folks and to kind of retain or regain our own economy here in Atascadero. We're losing too many people to leave to driving outside of the community. So providing a co-working space allows us to provide a lower cost facility for those maybe small businesses or even established businesses or tech businesses to organically grow here. So our space is about 3,000 square feet. It's not giant, but we have 14 private offices, and they're filled with a pretty healthy waiting list. And we have architects, engineers. We've got people from Oracle, from Seattle that are and from here, electrical contractors, financial folk. We have our trash services in here, which uh, we get a lot of foot traffic to the visitor center because of that. Tax service. So lots of different kinds of professional service type businesses. And what's great about it is, it was a business decision by our Chamber of Commerce and our board to look for ways to raise revenue. And so by having the coworkers here, we generate enough revenue to basically pay for our rent. So Chamber lives here rent free, and we get
Nice.
towards, these businesses, and the idea is to help them grow. And actually, ultimately, we love it when they leave because they're adding employees and they've outgrown the space. So when a business comes here and they grow and they leave, we have a little celebration for them. And, we wish them well as they move into their larger spaces. But we are not an incubator or an accelerator. It's simply a place to work and to hopefully grow a business.
Well, you guys were ahead of the curve opening it in 2018 before working from home and remote was so in style, right?
Yeah, it changed when the building first opened. It was a lot of communal space. So it'd be, long tables with people working around it together and headphones. And the model quickly shifted at COVID. And we saw all those people disappear. And then when they came back, they all wanted to pay more for a private office. So we've actually expanded our space twice to accommodate more private offices, and we're in a building we're lucky enough to be able to continue to grow. So over the next year, I think we're adding 2 more offices, and then there's opportunity for us to move again. But we grow slowly, so that we aren't incurring a lot of debt, and so we can just pay it as we expand.
So you mentioned private offices. Is it their full-time private office, or do they share the office space with others, like in a different schedule, or is there different setups?
Yeah, no, everyone has their own office, and they don't share. They're no one share. No,
Okay. Okay.
husband and wife will share, but even then, they're like, husband will be in the morning and wife in the afternoon, and they're There's not a lot. And, I'm always surprised by our coworkers, the flexibility they have in their jobs as compared to like us chamber folks, where it's like 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. They seem to have a lot of flexibility, which I'm always jealous of.
Right? That's awesome. I love seeing chambers venture into things like this, and especially when it becomes a viable source of revenue and where the chamber lives rent free. And I just think that's fantastic. So, how's the connection from the chamber office to the co-working space? Do you guys share a wall? Is it all part of the space? What does
It's
that
all
look
part of
like?
the space. And so, our a big piece of it is, the chamber uses the co-working space pretty regularly. There's a big lounge with like comfy, chairs and couches. And we've got this big, beautiful kitchen that's got a beer fridge, a wine fridge, the snack wall, which no fruits or vegetables, right?
Right.
We have a fancy espresso machine. So there's a lot of amenities back there, and our members love it as well. And so we've actually allowed our members 4 hours use of the space per year as part of their membership benefits. And they love hanging out back there. And, for those that need extra hours, they're happy to pay to use the space for more hours. So we get a lot of
Yeah.
use out.
Oh, that's great. Well, Josh, as we start to wrap things up, I wanted to ask on behalf of those listening who are looking to take their organization to the next level, what kind of tip or action item might you share with them as they strive towards that goal?
Sorry, could you say that again? It just broke up a little bit.
Yeah, for those listening who are trying to take their organization up to the next level, what kind of tip or action item would you share with them as they strive towards that goal?
Yeah. So what, if I'm looking at my crystal ball of what, the future of chambers are going to look like in the next few years, I see that the work that we do is of course it's very important, but it's also it's expensive to continue to do the work that we do that makes an impact. And what I see the need for is chambers to come together with their neighboring chambers and look for ways to collaborate, to merge, to unify their chambers or have shared staffing models. That's, I think, the future of chambers, because I think the days are gone where it's just a 1 or 2 person chamber that just does events. That's just not an effective, as a chamber, you can't be as effective when you're just focused on, the annual parade or the fireworks show. Doing this economic development work, workforce development work, that is really important work for a chamber to be involved in. And you can't do it alone, not these days. And not if your membership is 300 or 400 people. You've got to do it together. And I really feel like this merging idea, this collaborative idea is the future. And quite honestly, I need to, take my own advice. It's something that we are talking about. We haven't done that yet, but I see that as being in our future in the next few years.
Well, that answer may be stealing from my next question about how do you see the future of chambers and their purpose going forward?
That definitely is, where the chambers are the problem solvers for sure. And so the problems of today are continued to be what, that they haven't changed a lot, unfortunately, but it's still important that chambers do advocacy, workforce development, economic development. And, you can do that by, if you don't have the budget to do it yourself, you need to call up your friends and your neighboring chambers and see how you can do it together.
I love that. Well, Josh, I want to give you an opportunity to share any contact information for listeners who may want to reach out and connect with you about any of these workforce programs we've talked about today. What would be the best way for them to reach out and connect?
I'd be happy to connect with anyone. And my email is josh@atascaderochamber.org. And that's Atascadero, Atascadero. Remember, it means mud. Atascaderochamber.org. That's the best way to get a hold of me. Also, our website is fantastic, and my contact information is on it.
Perfect. And I'll make sure we get this in our show notes as well to make it easy to find. But this has been great having you on the show, and I appreciate you setting aside some time to join us here on Chamber Chat Podcast. This has been a great conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, listeners.
If you are a chamber professional, be sure to subscribe to Chamber Chat Podcast on your favorite podcast app or now on YouTube, so you never miss a new episode. New episodes are released each week and delivered right to you. If you're finding value in the podcast, please take a moment to leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. It really helps others discover the show. And most importantly, share Chamber Chat Podcast with your colleagues in the industry so we can continue to grow and strengthen the chamber community together.
This episode is brought to you by Riverside. If you've ever thought about starting a podcast for your chamber or your business, one of the biggest challenges is recording high-quality audio and video, especially when you and your guest aren't in the same room. Riverside is the platform I use to record every episode of the show. It gives you studio-quality audio and video right from your browser, automatically backs up your files, and even creates clips you can use on social media. It's designed to make podcasting simple and professional without the headaches. If you're ready to launch your podcast or upgrade your recordings, head over to chamberchatpodcast.com/riverside to get started today. Again, that's chamberchatpodcast.com/riverside, the same tool I trust to bring you these conversations every week.